Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Marianne. I live here in Canada with my husband and two kids ages 6 and 7, and I make videos on simplifying life and motherhood through easy organization and decluttering. Today I am talking all about paper clutter and how to manage paper and how to avoid creating paper clutter and trying to keep it out of your house. I'm basically going to share what we do in our house and our sort of like super easy systems and routines to make sure that we never get overwhelmed with paper and we don't get to that point of being like, oh my gosh, where did all this paper come from? Let's jump right in. First of all, there are 3 types of paperwork that basically our family deals with in our house, and I feel like it's probably 3 kind of common categories that I feel like a lot of your homes probably have a lot of the very same paperwork. So category 1 is household paperwork. So basically anything for managing the house. So if it's like a receipt for, installing carpet or something about purchasing a new car, or if it is paperwork for something where you're paying for kids camp, something like that, all of that paperwork I put under sort of what I call is like household management or family management. Category 2 is work paperwork. So because I work for myself and I work technically from home, I have a ton of paperwork, receipts, invoices, contracts with clients, all that sort of paperwork. Category 3 is sort of like keepsake / kids paperwork / school paperwork. Okay, so the steps that I take from like the second the paperwork comes in to our home. So let's say it's mail, for example. I just got a couple pieces of mail into our house that are, I think, related to our taxes. They're from the government, so I hope that's what they're related to. So what I instantly do as soon as I get it in the mail, as soon as I open the mail, I rip it open, and because the goal is to reduce literally how much each slice of paperwork that I have to deal with. So I want that out of my house instantly. So as soon as I open my mail, if there's 4 items and 3 of them are just like junk mail or flyers that I don't care about, I instantly recycle those. I don't even look at them. I don't consider them. Quick view, and then I get them into the recycle immediately. I don't set them down on the counter. I don't think about them. I don't think, oh, I might have time to look at that tonight. I know for myself, I am at a busy stage of life. So anything that's extra like that, I instantly put in the recycling right away. A tip for if you're dealing with a ton of like junk mail or like free items that you don't want is just to put like no flyers or no junk mail right on your mailbox. You can put like a little label and just put it directly on there, and that should reduce the amount of what's coming in. So back to my mail, I am going to rip this open instantly, getting rid of just the outside envelope. That's one less piece of random paper that I have to deal with in my house. Instantly goes in recycling. Sometimes inside of like the envelope and like paperwork, it'll come with like another free envelope to mail my money in or whatever I owe. If it's our city water bill, it will sometimes come with like, here's what's going on in the city, or here are water rates, stuff like that. If that's information I don't need to know and I do not care about, instantly get it out, recycle. The only thing I am keeping is the piece of paper or few pieces of paper that I actually need to take action on or file. So if it's something that I do not need, I do not keep it. So once I'm left with the paper I actually know that I need to do something with, I either take action immediately or I put on my agenda decide when I'm going to take action on it, and I put that into my agenda. So if I open this mail and it happened to be a Tuesday morning and it's 10 o'clock and I'm working from home that day and it's an office day for me and I know I have time to sit down and pay that bill, I'm going to sit right down. I'm going to probably pay it right away. I'm going to write a note on it that it's paid, and I'm going to file that. If I happen to open the mail and it's 5:15 on a Tuesday and I'm trying to deal with the kids, I'm trying to make dinner, Scott just got home and it's like very busy, then I know I'm like, okay, I'm not going to pay this bill immediately, and I know I might forget, then I'm going to open up my agenda. I'm going to open my agenda. I am going to flip through. I'm going to be like, okay, what's my next office day? When am I going to be home? When is the bill due, or whatever the action item is needed? And I write in when I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to slip the actual paperwork into my agenda where it will stay until then. If it's an item where I can take action immediately and then all I need to do after that is file it, is I simply bring it down and throw it into our file system. And our file system is very simple. I have one toast that I use. It's like just one of these file boxes that just like a plastic file box. the standard one that you find at Walmart or Target or wherever you shop for your stuff. This is kind of like how I've created my limit on paperwork as well. So this is how much room I have. If this starts to get so full I can't fit a paper in, that's how I know that I need to probably declutter this and let go of some paperwork. My categories in here are very simple. It's all pretty standard stuff. Like I have one for Cogeco or internet provider. I have like one for banking, a health one. Insurance is a big one for us. Our mortgages in here, any of our retirement funds, our saving funds, all of that all lives in here. And then the back is all of my income tax paperwork. So that all, anything personal, anything related to the house or the family, all lives directly in here. And to make my system even that much simpler, when I go to bring something downstairs, typically I'm in a rush and typically it's like a busy time of day. I'm like, you know what? I know myself over the years. I know that when I'm bringing stuff down to file, I won't open that lid and find the right category. I know myself and I don't stress over it. I don't force myself to do it. I don't beat myself up for not doing it. I have come up with a system that works. I simply take the item. So here's a great example. We just hired like some student workers that came around. We've hired them to come clean our windows this spring and summer, and I'm very excited about it. And so this is the whole form. They gave us pricing for like a bunch of different stuff. It's all detailed here. It's something that I want to keep and I want to be able to look at because we've paid a deposit, but they haven't come done the work yet. So that paper I'm going to bring downstairs. All I do is I put it on top of the file bin. I don't even file it. I just put it on top. And then every 6 months or every quarter or once a year, if I don't have a ton of paperwork, I'll bring this tote upstairs and I'll take 15, 20 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes, and I'll go through this little stack that's on there because I have only let in what I actually know I need to keep. And at the end of the year, half of that, I'm like, why was it even, I didn't need to keep this. What was I thinking? Or this is now done and I do not need to keep this anymore. I toss it, and the other items I actually keep. And I put them in the right file so that I know I can easily find them when I need them. That paperwork is somewhat easy for me because I am the one in our family who pays all our bills. I manage our money. I manage the finances. So I know that that type of paperwork is something that I deal with. However, there are sometimes things that come in that don't have anything to do with me. They're related to Scott or the kids, and Scott's dealing with it for the kids. If that's the case, if something comes into the mail and I'm the only one home and I need to file it somewhere or put it somewhere, I put it in what we call our stuff basket, which is essentially our catch-all basket that lives in our living room on our side table, and it is literally just a wicker basket. So if, for example, Scott's dad is giving us hockey tickets for next weekend and he drops them off and I'm like, oh great, we don't want to lose those, but I know that I'm not the one taking the kids to the hockey game. Scott's doing that. I put them directly in the stuff basket. We have been using this stuff basket, or this version of a stuff basket, for years, probably even since before the kids were born, and it works for us. It can be whatever works for you and that you know like makes sense in your brain, that one place where you put everything for other members of the family. Okay, and so for work paperwork, it's essentially the exact same system. Something comes in, I either take action or I put it on my agenda and then I file it. I have a separate little like file rack, which is like, this would be another good one. If you have no file system at all right now, having like even just something as simple as this for your family with like a few different categories for your family is a great way to start. For so many clients we deal with, even though we're like in 2024 and a lot of the things that we deal with are online, I still find that there is still quite a bit of paperwork that comes into the average household. At the beginning of the year, I just went and I created labels for each month. So for my work stuff, I don't really file it by category, but I file it by a month. So I just created a file for every single month of this year, and I know if something comes in that is for that month, I just run down here, throw it into April, and then on like May 10th or May 15th, I know I can grab my entire April folder, I bring it upstairs, and I sit down and I spend an hour or two and I reconcile my accounts. So the final category is is that category where it's kids, homework, paperwork, or keepsakes, and like little creations from kids. So my kids are in kindergarten and grade 2. So with Leo now, he's our older one and he's in grade 2. With him now, we're dealing more with like actual like worksheets or these little pop quizzes that come home, a lot more like permission slips, things like that. Where with Annie and Rose, we're dealing definitely with more of like her little paintings and drawings and stuff like that. So basically what I do is they all come home, I instantly take them all out of their backpacks, clean up their backpacks every single night, put it on the kitchen table. I will look at it, I'll make a little pile, and I'll usually make a little comment like, oh, Leo, like you did so good in your spelling, or oh, Annie Rose, like I love this little bear you drew, and what does this the word say, or something like that, like to make them acknowledge them, like we saw this and we love it and we like, you're doing so good. And then typically I look at it and like most of it, I usually toss directly, like worksheets that Leo's done, like super proud of him and super happy for him. However, I think I have kept one little spelling, a spelling quiz that he did. He does them every single week. And I think I kept one at the beginning of the year, and the rest I toss immediately. Then out of that pile, there's usually maybe like 2 or 3 or 1 item per child that I'm like, this is special, it's seasonal, it's super cute, they were really proud of it, they obviously worked really hard on it, and I put it on our mantle. We use as our mantle because we just happen to have a mantle, so that's what we use. But if you like to put stuff on your fridge, that would be a good spot to do it. Or if you have a bulletin board or like a cute little magnet spot that's designated for kids stuff, that's amazing, that's a perfect spot for it. Annie Rose, who is in kindergarten, she will still, a lot of times will bring home like half done activities, like little coloring sheets that she half did, or like a little like mix and match or something, or she was supposed to cut it out and glue it. I'm sure the teacher said, okay, like time to clean up. If you're half done anything, you can take that home and finish it at home. And for the first few months of kindergarten, I remember I would like put these sheets into her craft drawer and think, oh, like she'll probably want to work on that later, or she'll probably want to finish coloring that. And I don't think she ever once finished a sheet. She wants a fresh new sheet of paper for if she wants to sit down and do an activity. So I stopped keeping those. I tossed those out instantly, and she's never ever asked about it again. And then every like week, 2 weeks, whenever I'm in the mood, if I'm doing some sort of spring cleaning or people are coming over or it just starts to look really cluttered, I grab everything off of our mantle, I look at it and I decide, okay, are there like 1 or 2 or maybe 0 items that I feel like are very special? An example would be like Leo made this little Easter card, and it's so darn cute. When I'm with you, you make me feel happy inside. So anyway, that's like a little card for Scott that I'm sure I'll probably put in his keep pile. Similarly is the kids will also have creations that they work on at home. So like these little like egg notes, for example, Annie Rose right now, she loves to pretend that she's like writing really fast. Like she sees like Scott and I writing like this really fast, so she just wants to pretend that. So she has like all like a million sheets just like this with just like paperwork of absolute gibberish, and like just right here I probably have a dozen of those, and I just like put those directly in the recycling. Like for the items that I do keep that I think are super cute and I want to keep forever, I have created these little like file folders, these like little, what do you call these little, honestly the reason I chose this kind is because I happened to find 2 of them that I could thrift for like 50 cents or $2 or something, and I just got little letter stickers from the dollar store, and I put those on and made one for each of them. And then I just made a little label for every single grade, and then at the back I did like extracurricular, post-secondary, banking, and miscellaneous. When there's something that I know I absolutely want to keep and it's so cute and I love it, I slip it into that year, that grade, and I know that's something I can like look back, or I can pass this whole thing on to them when they move out if they want it, or I can keep and look at it when I'm in my rocker when I'm 90 years old, hopefully. If you already at the point where you feel like you're overwhelmed with paperwork, I would say to do it in chunks. I know for myself, I love decluttering. I live for decluttering. And even for me, I find paperwork sometimes, if you have a ton of years and years of it, even I find it a bit overwhelming. So the one suggestion I do for people is always putting little deadlines or timelines. So choose like a date, write it on a post-it, and like if you're dealing with say like 5 boxes or 5 file drawers, you put like a deadline for each of the different file drawers. The one thing I just learned about this year, which is so satisfying. I just learned about last year, I guess, is that our local stationery store, we have Staples here in Canada, but probably wherever you are, they have one too, where you can drop off and they'll do your shredding for you. So there's obviously a fee involved, but I think like I had like a huge box, like a file box that was heavy. It goes by weight, and I think it was like $30. So if you have like old paper you're trying to get rid of and you feel like it needs to be shredded, but the thought of sitting there and shredding into your tiny little home office shredder like makes you want to cry, then dropping it off and paying to get it shredded might be worthwhile for you. The other last quick little reminder I want to give is that you don't need a ton of stuff to make a huge difference and to create like super, super easy, simple systems for your family and yourself. All you need is a Sharpie or even just a pen and some file folders, and you're pretty much set. So that's the one beauty of paperwork, that usually doesn't require like a ton of like product or anything to get started. And remember that even though it can be tedious, it is so, so satisfying and 100% worth it, because it is such a weight lifted once it's completed. I hope you guys liked this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking around and following along, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye guys.